Hey, everybody. This is Queenie Brown. Got a quick question for you. Did you come from a wealthy family? Most of us didn't. But it's time for all of us to decide that a wealthy family is going to come from us. Let's get it going. Thank God it's Financial Freedom Fridays. I'm so excited to be back. Welcome to the show. I'm Queenie Brown, and we are joined by the Kingsman, Mr. Dwayne Taylor, Mr. Donovan Yarbo. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, family?
Hello, everyone. Good to be
Hey,
Good to
back.
be back. Great
Season
to be
two.
back.
it's great
Season
to be back for
2.
season 2, y'all.
Season two.
We are super excited. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another day of wealth and wisdom and deep conversation. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about today. But before we get started, I wanted to just give you a quick recap on the conversation that we've been having. Actually, before we go any further, if you have any comments, please do leave them in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you include the hashtag replay for us so that we know that you have joined us, and we will be entering in responses and commenting back and forth with you. So please do join the conversation. So the past few conversations we had, let's go back. Hang. Sorry about that. Okay, so to recap season 1, we opened the conversation talking about desire, and the whole idea here is how do we move into financial freedom? What does freedom actually look like? And we've defined freedom in 4 different ways. We define freedom as time freedom. That means the ability to do what you want to do with your time, go where you want to go, and spend your time the way you want to spend it. We also talked about location freedom, being able to go and live and be in whatever space or place you want to live in. We also talked about what was the other one? Um, Choice freedom, the ability to choose the things you want for your life. And that includes the kind of foods you want to eat, the kind of place you want to live in, the kind of education you want to give to yourself and your children, the kind of neighborhood you want to live in. What is your choice? How do you want to live your life? And then the last is dream freedom. What are your dreams? What do you dream about? What do you want to accomplish and live out in your life? And the ability to make your own choice and to chart your own path is vital, because we've been created to do amazing things with our lives. We each have visions and we have passions and we want to walk in them, but we can't do it if we don't have freedom. So, Financial Freedom Fridays is all about rising into our power to get well, to be able to live that lifestyle that we want to create for ourselves, and then to ultimately be able to leave a legacy for our families. But in order to do all of that, you got to get some wisdom. And so this whole conversation is all about shifting your money mindset so that we can actually rise into our power to create 10x, 20x, 100x our income and really live the lives that we've been destined to live. So just to give you a little bit of feedback. Well, before we do, guys, did you want to comment on that at all?
I did. I love the part of recapping dream freedom. It's
Mhm.
amazing that being in the conversation. I missed that. I missed that I had the freedom to dream. Not just I'm not just seeking time freedom, location freedom, choice freedom, but that freedom to dream, to be that kid again, to allow my mind to explore and wonder and imagine and see. As I think it was a movie, our saying says, what dreams may be.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what dreams may be. I know one thing that this guy always says is, make believe. Use the word make believe, and it's like, yeah, we've been told that make believe is false and fake. No, but if you listen to the words, you can make
Yes.
your belief your reality. So it's good to make believe and to be free to dream. I
Yes.
just wanted to add that in.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely the dream portion is it all starts with the desire and the dream. Because without a dream, you have no passion to go for financial freedom. You have no passion to go for time freedom. You have no passion to go for location freedom. You have no passion for none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think when you bring it back to the dream, because sometimes when we talk about financial freedom, people, it's so amazing people's mindsets when it comes to this whole money thing. Period. What I'm learning, People always want to first go all the way deep and think, you got to have millions and billions and all of that. And that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, they cancel out their opportunity to truly begin to dream. And there's no telling how that money comes. That money can come through idea. That money can come through, man, a long lost relative that left you some money that you never knew about. But it only starts when you truly begin to dream, and not only dream, but believe who you truly are, because the dream comes from who you truly are.
Mm. You just, okay, something just exploded in me when you said that. Think about the idea that we will become that long lost relative,
Mm.
that somebody down the line of our legacy will be able to
Mm-hmm.
benefit from. Planning ahead to be able to make sure that that happens. And one day, someone who has our DNA that looks like us, that has dreams, and we're able to impart into them long after we're gone, and they don't even know it. They don't even know who we are. We don't know them. So anyway, so who am
Mm.
I? I just jumped right in, didn't I? I'm Queenie Brown. I am a transformational coach. I'm an author and a healer, and I stand for the rising of all of us into our power to live the lives of our dreams, to become who God created us to be, to walk in complete and total health and healing, to have successful and thriving relationships, to really just be able to walk in the fullness of our power. And we created this show because we really wanted to be able to impart into our audience the ability and the methods by which we can all walk in that wealth. So the way we got started, one day I started having these visions of gold bricks that just all of a sudden just started seeing gold bricks everywhere. And so I started putting it in my marketing. I'm also a digital business strategist, so I have clients that I build funnels for, and I build for myself as well. And I started putting it in my marketing, these gold bricks. And so one day I got a phone call out of the blue from Mr. Dwayne Taylor. And he said, "What's good, Miss Queenie?" And I said, "I'm over here trying to figure out how to stack these bricks of gold." He said, "Well, no wonder why I called. I'm right on time." So we started talking about money, and we started talking about gold and the systems that are in place right now in our economy. And he just began to enlighten me in a lot of different areas where money and wealth accumulation are concerned. And we both thought that it would be great to bring this conversation to the forefront and share it with you, the audience. And so that's how we created Financial Freedom Fridays. And of course, Mr. Donovan just happened to be in the room when we were having the conversation. And we all just said, "Well, you know what? This is the perfect fit. Let's do it. Let's do it." And so it has been a phenomenal ride ever since the very beginning. I'm going to let the gentlemen introduce themselves when they begin. But I just wanted to take this moment to say, guys, I am really grateful to be on this journey with the both of you. It's really been life changing for me. It's grown me in ways that I didn't expect, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be partners in this journey. So with that, I would like to introduce the Kingsmen, Mr. Dwayne Taylor and Mr. Donovan Yarbo. Would you all please take your time and introduce yourselves to the audience?
My name is Dwayne Taylor, and I am a lifestyle strategist coach. The name of my company is Your Perception, because I truly believe when you shift your perception, your impossible becomes your possible, right? Most of the times we believe that we can't do the impossible, but when you shift your perception, you can do the impossible. So my passion has always been to impact and empower people to live their best life so they can be, do, and have all that they want in their life, health, and wealth. I've been a personal trainer in the health and fitness area for 30 past years. I'm a certified life and health coach through the HCI, Health Coach Institute. I've been an affiliate marketer with a company for the last 5 years, which has brought me into learning how to build wealth and what real money is. So, with all three of those, I brought it all together to bring a platform together to impact people's life, health, and their wealth by changing their perception.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Donovan Yarbo.
Well, I am Donovan Yarbo, also known as Mr. Pay Yourself First. I am a former Series 7 and 63 licensed financial advisor. And what that former means is that now I can tell you the truth.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not here to sell you a product. So you can pull your hands out your pocket. I'm not reaching in there to try to sell you a product and get you to buy something that you don't need. I host Real Money Mondays on my Facebook channel every Monday, obviously, where we discuss real money, some topics, current events, what's happening around the world, and where I love to do the math. I consider myself a mathematician, great with numbers, and I love to do the math because besides time, the one thing that's in this physical world that doesn't lie are numbers. The numbers will always tell you the truth. I'm a freedom fighter, lover of monetary history, and I like to look at myself now. And this just came to me, and I'm going to add it to my bio. I'm a resurrected dreamer. There was a point in my life where the dream had died, and I was just in the rat race, doing the monotony of Monday through Friday and off on weekends, Monday through Friday, off on weekends, with no real purpose except to keep a roof over my head and food in my belly, which is, necessity. But there was no dream, there was no passion, there was nothing driving me to work, driving me home. There was nothing there. So I think I'm gonna live with that moniker for a while. I'm a resurrected dreamer, and I'm here to help resurrect your dream as well.
Ooh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, wow.
Wonder to activate.
Right, right. Form of
Form
fire.
of.
Right. We got to think that through, guys. Okay, so when we started the conversation off in season one, we began the journey talking about desire. And then from there, we recognized that we all have dreams and that we wanted to resurrect that dream, just like you said, Donovan. And dream big again, and really reach for the fullness of our dream, and not acquiesce and make it small based on our circumstances. And then we talked about the fact that our self image and the way that we see ourselves has a huge impact on our ability to dream and our ability to reach those dreams. If you see yourself as less than, you're going to shoot for less than, and you're going to achieve less than. But if you really get in tune with who you are, the real bigness of who you are, the God likeness of who you are, and then you allow your dreams to flow through that, then your dreams will far exceed anything that you could ever imagine. But you got to allow yourself to be willing to dream. And so we talked about the willingness and the unwillingness that we might have based on our beliefs and what was it you said, Dwayne? You said something really powerful.
Paradigm.
Yeah, pardon me.
The paradigm.
The paradigm, but your deserve level. There was something worthiness.
Oh, worthiness.
Yes, we started talking about worthiness and whether or not you feel worthy of the dream. And so we've gone down these very interesting paths, and we've given some really, really powerful, insightful resources. So we invite you to join us and watch season one, but we'll tell you more about that a little bit later, how you can do that. But today, we wanted to talk about the fact that whether or not you came from a wealthy family, it's important that we make the choice to decide to become that wealthy family that can proliferate that wealth throughout our legacy and generations to come. So, where do you, Donovan? You talked about a very interesting diagram. You want to start there?
Sure, we can.
Okay.
And this is actually, man, I am like author of nothing, but I can expound on it, and obviously, after a while, I'll make it my own. But this is something that came out of a conversation that Mr. Taylor and I had offline, uh, equivalent to the game of baseball, like a diamond. And there's this song by this faith-based Christian artist, and he says, we've been building castles in the sand too long. And when I look at the game of money and wealth building, I equate it to a baseball diamond where you have to step up to the plate first. I mean, baseball, you can't score a run until you're at bat. You just don't pop on second base, third base. So you have to start at the plate, at home plate, and first base. Which you guys are seeing this as if we're looking from the outfield in. Financial freedom to your left is the first base. So you have to get the first base before you can get to being rich. You have to be free, and that freedom is when your income without your effort meets your expenses. Then you become financially free. That releases your time. That releases you to be able to focus on other things. I recently watched a video where Kim Kiyosaki, wife of Robert Kiyosaki, was talking about her first income stream being only a $25 positive cash flow. But having that and seeing the process that it took to get it allowed her to build more until she became financially free and then really got to explore the things that she wanted to do. It's amazing that we don't even know ourselves until we have that time freedom. And that's what that first base is. And then we have to round to second base, which is being rich. And how many of us know the stories of the professional athletes who became rich overnight, but 5 years on average after retiring from their sport are now back broke again, relative to the level of success they had as the athlete, because they never put the team together to be able to round third base into being wealthy. And once we get to third base, we can bring it home to generational wealth and that legacy. So the quote that really birthed this conversation today was, if you didn't come from a wealthy family must come from you. So I'll personalize it. I didn't come from a wealthy family, so a wealthy family must come from me, even if I'm just the one that lays the foundation to first base to financial freedom and have to pass the baton to the next generation to take the family to being rich and eventually to wealth. I want to be in that lineage that I started something great, not just for me, but for my children's children.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Dwayne, did you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am. He pretty much said it all. I guess I'll give a little bit. Where most people fail is they won't even step up to the plate,
Right.
right? And you know me, I'm a perception coach, so I'm always gonna bring my knowledge back to the mindset and how the brain works. And as I go through this journey and I begin to learn even more about my own self and my own thinking, and it's so amazing when you just take the time out to say, to accept yourself for where you are
Mm,
and say it's okay. Wherever you're at, however messed up you might think you are, it's okay. The moment you can recognize it is the moment you can change it.
right.
As me and Mr. Yarbrough have been going on this journey, we see the conditioning of the algorithm that has been taught in these public schools
Mm,
to teach people not even to step to the plate. The only thing you're supposed to do is go get a job so you can eat from a plate.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
So when you get to learn yourself and you just take that time out, then you can trust that you can step to the plate. You might strike out, you might swing and miss a couple times, but you get the opportunity to come back up
Mm-hmm.
and swing again because you at least began the process to say you were worthy to start living.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I can, Queenie, I'm sorry, did you have a thought that needed to get out right now?
I could hold it.
Okay. When you think of the game of baseball, I mean, it is such a failure sport. I mean, to be
Mm,
successful in baseball, you succeed 30% of the time.
mm,
Mm.
So that means you fail 70% of the time. And that's a batter batting 300,
Wow.
meaning that for every 10 times he comes up the plate, 7 times he goes right back to the dugout without ever getting on base.
Mm.
3 times out of those 10, he'll get on base. But that's a successful baseball player. That's a good batter. That's a good hitter. Because you can fail your way to success. Yeah, because I got up the plate in the first inning and struck out, but now I got to see how the pitcher's pitching. I see how he's
mm,
pitching me. I'm seeing his rhythm, his cadence. So when I get back up, yeah, I missed that first one, but now I'm going to win this round, and all I have to win is 3 out of the next 10 rounds,
Mm-hmm.
and my life goes to a different area. And I started with the quote, we've been building castles in the sand too long. Like Dwayne said, we're going to a job and we're in that sandbox. And everybody's trying to build the best castle and looking at everybody else's castle. Meanwhile, the game is being played on the field, and they didn't allow us to the field.
Mm.
They left us in the sandbox and told us, well, you build the best castle over here. And I can parallel that to a scripture from the word of God in the Bible that says that he who built, his house on sand, you know what I'm saying? When the rain came, when the wind came, it was easily washed away. And look at the current events now. The rain, the wind, the storm is coming to these financial markets.
Mm-hmm.
And some people's houses are being washed away. because it was tied to the job.
Mm.
Everything was tied to the job. So when I lost, and I'm speaking metaphorically, not about myself, when I lost my job, I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost my family, I lost everything because it was all tied to the job. So literally, we were dependent upon the job, not dependent on my own intellect, my own self, my own ability to create in this world.
Mm.
I became just like Dwayne said, somebody looking for a plate to be slid in front of me instead of stepping up to the plate,
Mm.
instead of taking my seat at the table,
Mm.
instead of saying, I'm going to play the game whether I'm invited or not. If I got to play stick ball, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I got to leave the stand box and we're going to go over here and play stick ball until we can make it to the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gonna play stick ball until I make it to the big leagues. But guess what? The dream and the goal is to get into the big leagues,
Mm-hmm.
then to dominate the big leagues. Man, I can keep going.
So I'm so glad you said that. There's so many pieces of this. What thought came to my mind initially, Dwayne, when you were speaking, is we got to know where we are. And one of the things we've talked about on this show is how we are literally in a program. We were programmed to operate inside this system and to like it and to expect that this is all we are going to get. And the other day I was talking to a friend about this analogy of, when you take a small elephant and you chain him to a tree, that elephant will fight and fight and fight to get away from that tree. But eventually, if it doesn't break free, that elephant will stop fighting. And then you can take the chains off and that elephant will not leave.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we are in this system. We've been taught to operate inside of it. This is what you're going to get. This is how it's going to go. You're going to work every day. You're going to pretend, or not pretend, but think you are winning this game. But you're going to be laden with lack. You're going to be laden with debt. You're going to be laden with fear. All of the things that will keep you in the system, chasing after that money, chasing after that job, trying to help somebody else's dream be manifested, instead of snatching that chain off that tree and running, because you have the strength of an elephant. You can pull through and knock that tree down if you decide to, and going after your own dreams. And so, it's important for us to recognize it is a mindset. It literally is a program that we have to break out of. We have to replace these thoughts and beliefs with new beliefs, knowing and trusting that anything is possible. We just got to decide to believe it. So let's just take a breath.
I'm just excited, for this is season 2, and like we don't even know what we started, right? In a casual conversation. Like we have absolutely no idea where this is gonna go.
Right.
We were just being obedient to what we felt led to do with what the gifts we have. And we're still on our journey. And here's the one thing I learned about being a coach: as long as you are ahead of the person in front of you, you can always reach back and teach.
Mm-hmm.
I relate it to martial arts, being in jujitsu. I can be a white belt, but I can be a two-stripe white belt, and I can turn around and teach a brand new no-stripe white belt.
Mm-hmm.
But we're both white belts. But see, the difference is that person is open to learning.
Right.
He's open to learn. Okay, he's willing to allow somebody to coach them. The problem with us is, once again, the educational system teaches you to do it by yourself. But I just posted something the other day that I read out of a book. It said, what's the word? When we come together, what's the word?
Collaboration.
Collaboration creates prosperity. What are we doing? Collaborating as a tribe. Guess what's going to happen? We all going to prosper.
We rise together. Yes.
Yeah. And Miss Brown, can you put the graphic back on the screen, the baseball diamond? As you guys look at this as it comes up, what you notice too is that in the game of baseball, rarely does someone get up and hit a home run. Go straight from stepping up to the plate to, and we're just going to equate it to the game of money, all the way around to legacy. No, sometimes you bunt and you barely make it to first base, you barely make it to financial freedom, and now you need help. You need that next person up the bat to get me to second base, to get me to third base. And it's not that, well, I'm using them, stepping on their head to get me to second and third base. But no, we're a team. We're in this together. So if I get around to legacy and score a run, I score a run for the whole team.
Yes.
So that's going to be probably move you to financial freedom, to being rich, to being wealthy, and ultimately leaving that legacy. This is a team sport. This is a team game, not an individual game. No man, and I hope I can say this on this platform. Well, I hope that is good because I'm going to say it. If you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, the only thing you end up is on your ass.
Mm,
That is it. Nobody, that adage of I'm gonna pull myself up by my bootstraps was made to deceive you. It
mm,
was made to railroad you and think that, yes, I can do it by myself. Does that take away the responsibility of self sufficiency? No, that does not take away the responsibility of self sufficiency, but it still lends that a team is needed.
mhm,
There's certain things that everybody must do. Everybody must play their part. Taking it from the body of Christ, everybody has their role to play. My body, this pinky has a role to play. It can't be the nose. It can't be the lung. It can't be the elbow. It's the pinky,
mhm,
but it's still needed.
mm,
My little toe is needed. My elbow is needed.
mhm.
All coming together to make one body that moves in unison. So when I walk, I'm not all disjointed because the pinky's trying to be the elbow
Right.
or the elbow's trying to be the knee. No, elbows be elbows, knees be knees, ankles be ankles. And now when I walk, it's fluid.
Mm,
When we move, it's fluid, and we can move from step one to step two to step three, fluid, without getting out of sync. And because of my intelligence quotient, my IQ, and I know you wanted to speak on that IQ and EQ
mhm,
that we brought up yesterday. Um, when I first spoke to Mr. Taylor, it wouldn't allow me to be coached by him because my IQ told me that I was ahead of him. What can this man teach me? It wasn't until a chance encounter of listening to a broadcast like this allowed me to hear the wisdom that this man speaks with, allowed me to see the what's the word I'm looking for when somebody's selfless and
mm,
they're passionate about helping you. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like he has dreams and goals that he wants to fulfill, but a lot of that is wrapped up in how can I help the next person?
mhm.
So when I saw that, it's like, man, I need to call this gentleman back. I missed it.
Yeah.
And I had to fall on my knee and tell him, hey, brother, I missed it. Will you show me exactly what it is that you tried to show me that I passed up on because I was high minded?
Mm,
And now here I am getting to walk step by step with this gentleman, still being iron sharpening iron
mhm,
and getting better every day as our relationship grows. Well, now you're looking at the screen like, man, are they brothers?
mhm.
All I'm gonna say is yes,
Yes.
we are, and I am my brother's keeper.
Love it. I love it. Wow. Yeah, we don't have any idea what the impact of this chance connection will make on the world, not just on our lives, but on the audience. And I'm excited to see, how your lives are impacted. And please do keep us informed. We want this to be an interactive conversation. We don't want to just be talking at you. So if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them, and I'll put them up on the screen so that we can entertain a conversation together. None of us have arrived. We are all on this journey together. We are all being transparent with you so that we're sharing our journey and being open
Mhm.
with some of our mistakes and our missteps. But that's so that we all can grow. And Donovan, when you made the analogy about, every part of the body having its own position and playing your position, it made me think, there's no way you could be a runner if the parts of your body aren't playing their position. You walking is the first step, but when it's time to really run and move and like shoot for the stars to get those dreams, you can't do that if everybody's not playing their position. So I want to play my position. I want to learn what is my position, and I want to rise into it powerfully so that I can create that legacy for my life and for my family and for my posterity. um so I'm thrilled about this journey. What else have we talked about that uh-oh,
I
go.
will say this though, just so the audience understands, at least from my perception, I have more of that indigenous mindset. So I'm always thinking tribe. Like when we have conversations, I'm always thinking team. I was in the military, so I played in sports. So for me, team is easy to understand. And once again, we've been trained not to participate in team. Or if you are on the team, you think you got to be the one to always shine,
Mm,
right? You need to get the light. That's not how indigenous cultures work. Everybody played the role, right? The women had the role, the man had the role, the shaman had the role, the warriors had the role, the farmers had the role. Nobody had greater shine than nobody else. So I want the tribe to understand, like, we need your engagement. This isn't just
yes.
Dwayne, Donovan, and Queenie talking to y'all. No, this is y'all talking to us because we're coming together as a tribe. So everybody who plugs in and connects to this frequency prospers.
Yeah.
And you can go touch the world the way you're supposed to go touch the
Mm,
world.
that's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good, good.
Absolutely. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate more activities and things that will support that tribe building atmosphere. We're going to be doing a live event soon, and there's a few other things that we've got up our sleeves. So, we're excited. Um, but today we're just going to leave it here. And next week we're going to take it a step deeper and go into, we're going to take the curtain back a little bit and peek a little bit more deeply into each of our situations and see where we are so that we can get where we're going. In the meantime, are there any final thoughts, guys, that you want to share?
I think that was my final word, what I just said.
Okay.
My final thought would be, first season we delved into the mindset. First, you have to have the desire, and then you have to dig deep and get into who you are. What wealth files do you have that's been implanted to you? Not by your choice or your decision, but just your environment, and see what you can hold on to, what's good and what's not. Because then, as we start moving into season two and start talking about these systems and really opening up, like Queenie just said, the transparency on our life. This is where I'm at, and this is how I'm going to get to where I want to go. And this is the system that I use, and this is the systems of the world, and this is how they can benefit you. This is how they can hurt you. So we want to dissect them. And what we want to make sure that we do, and that's why season one was about mindset, is that we don't run into cognitive dissonance.
Mm,
Don't allow a new truth to challenge an old truth that is killing you, that is hurting you, and you can't let it go. You have to be willing to change. Sometimes people take time to change, and we're willing to take that time with you. But the best decisions and the best life happens out of those that are ready and willing to change quickly. When a new truth, new information comes in, you grasp it, you move quickly and start taking action, because we are not just here for rhetoric. We are about action.
mm. All right. Drop that mic. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on Thank God It's Financial Freedom Fridays. We are kicking off season two with a bang, and next week we will continue the journey. Please be sure to share the broadcast with your friends. Make sure you comment. If you're watching the replay, make sure you do a hashtag replay, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right. God bless you.
I,
And
I got one last
one
word, Miss
last
Brown.
word. Okay.
This is for the audience, right? And this is for you. Um, it has truly been a pleasure working with you, and I want to say this publicly. Uh, Ladies, gentlemen that are watching this, that will watch the replay, find a woman near you real quick, go hug her and tell her thank you.
Oh,
You have no idea the work that she is doing for you behind the scenes that you may not see, and how powerful that foundation is that she's laying for you. So I just want to say this publicly. Queenie, over the last couple of days, and obviously the months that we shot season one, and seeing the work that you've done just to get us off and running today, I don't know the sacrifice that you're putting in
don't
and the
make me
labor
cry.
of love,
Make me
but
cry.
oh my God, I am thankful.
Yeah.
Thank you for being who you are and sharing that power that you possess with us on this platform.
Thank God it's Financial
No,
Freedom Friday.
God is Financial Freedom
I
Friday.
love my Kingsman. All right. Thank you guys again. I appreciate that more than you know. That made my day. Don't be trying to make me cry on the show. I'm a big baby now. All right. We'll see y'all next week. And I can't wait. Talk to you then. Bye. And of course, it doesn't want to go. That's all
So we
right.
still alive.
We'll see you guys.
They don't want us to leave.
I know we're still here. It's not going anywhere. So we will see y'all later. We love you. God bless you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.